Hello everyone, I'm going to show you the location of all the collectibles in Battlefield 5's war stories. There are currently 3 war stories. There will be a 4th one, The Last Tiger, sometime post-launch. Now if you've seen the trophy list, you'll see that you don't need to actually find any collectibles in order to get the Platinum Trophy. So why am I making this guide? Well, some people might find it useful because if you complete all the challenges and get all the collectibles, you'll unlock unique melee weapons that you can use in multiplayer. If you complete the first war story, you'll get the cricket bat, and then you'll get the Soveig knife for the second one, and then the Coupe for the third one. So again, you'll have to find all the collectibles and complete the challenges. The challenges aren't that difficult. But let's go start off under No Flag. This is the first war story. This is the act called Crossing Lines. This is right at the very beginning of it. You're going to follow Mason. You're going to see some blue boats on your left-hand side. On the right-hand side, going to the final building. And when you get close to it, there'll actually be a notification on your screen alerting you that you're in the vicinity of it. So we're going to go ahead and pick up that letter. They're all letters, and that is our first of 3 in this under No Flag Crossing Lines Act. Now the next one's going to be after your first little encounter, and you want to do, this is kind of a big open area. You want to go into the kind of the center of it. There's a plateau here. Now behind you is where you started. There's an airfield, or a hangar rather, that's going to be kind of on the back left side. But we're going to go in the middle of this area, and we're going to be notified that we're close to a collectible, and I'll show you exactly where it's at. And it's right there. All right, so as I mentioned, this is the hangar that's going to be out in the distance. That's ultimately where you need to go, and we started from back over that way. So what we're going to do to get to this next one is actually go pretty far out. So again, there's the hangar. So from your starting position, you want to stay to the right-hand side. You'll find a checkpoint down here. There's a vehicle parked there. There's also a path that leads down to a river. We're going to go down that way. And this collectible is actually going to be pretty tricky to find. You'll be notified that you're in the area. We're going to stay here on the left-hand side. It's going to be in the bushes in here somewhere. We're just going to look diligently. Eventually, we'll see the little dot. There it is. And that is the third and final letter in Crossing Lines. So moving on to Butcher and Bolt. This is a huge open area. So from the very beginning, you're going to see a couple guys down here. Let me go ahead and take these guys out. And there's an abandoned building just to the left. And inside of there is where we're going to find the first collectible. We're going to go around this entire map counterclockwise. So in here is where we're going to find it. Now from here, there's 3 places you need to go. You need to go to the radar station, which is where I'm going to go first. Then I'm going to go head towards the comms, and then finally to the airfield. So I'm just going to hop into the Jeep, and I'm going to start off the left-hand side. I'll continue down this path, head over towards, again, the radar station. You got 2 objectives you need to blow up. You can kind of see the little red markers on the screen there. I'm going to climb up this hill, and this letter is going to be next to a cairn. A cairn is a pile of rocks, usually marked for hikers, sometimes as a monument. They're man-made pile of rocks. You can see it right here, and the letter is going to be right next to it. This chapter here, this act, the Butcher and Bolt, is actually going to have cairns located near all of them. Just because of how big it is, they kind of are helping you out a little bit as far as navigation goes. All right, so I'm going from the radar station. I'm going to go head over to the comms station, and we got to go into a bunker there. Now, halfway there, as soon as we cross this bridge, we are going to find it along the side of a road. Again, you'll see a cairn nearby. I'm actually going to jump out of the vehicle, and it's right on the ground under my feet. I'm getting shot at, but I picked up the collectible. You can see I'm standing right next to the cairn. All right, so now we're going to go to the comm station, do what you got to do there, and now I'm going to leave this area. I've completed this objective here, so now I'm just going to move on. I'm going to head over towards the airfield, but before we do, just in front of us here, you can see the cairn there, the pile of rocks. It's going to be about 50 feet away from this thing. It's going to be located right behind a tree on the ground. So right back here, and pick that up. That is number 4 in this area. Now I'm going to get back in my Jeep again, and I'm going to kind of make my way towards the airfield. Again, just doing a counterclockwise loop in this act here. Jump over, and there's going to be a little island here. Bunch of palm trees. See the cairn over there. So you know we're nearby our objective, which is going to be located here on the ground. A little tricky to see, but you'll find it right near the leftmost tree as I was approaching that area. So now I'm going to the airfield here. The final objective is going to be here. Make sure you get all the collectibles prior to completing all the objectives. However, you can always go back in chapter select and get them. They'll also immediately save. So as soon as you pick one up, you can exit back to the main menu. So back here at the end of the airfield on the opposite side of where all the buildings are, behind that tower is where we're going to find the letter. So let's head over to Nordlys. This is the second war story. This is right after the skiing bit, and you're going to eventually make your way to a very long bridge. Right before you get to that bridge, kind of out here in the middle, is going to be, you can see the letter right there. We're not very far from the start of the bridge, which is just kind of right in front of me there. So after you cross that bridge, you're going to come over to this other bridge, a second one, and I'm going to actually take this path up on the left-hand side. Now you can cross that bridge, you can get back up here via a different way. There's a couple ways up here, but there's going to be a few buildings. I'm going to go to where, well, what used to be a building, it is now destroyed. You can see the flames. And I already picked up the collectible because I was on fire. I went prone and I accidentally grabbed the collectible without realizing it, but it's going to be here. And here is what it looked like when I came here the first time. It was on fire. I'm like, oh no, you go prone and that'll put out the fire, and somehow I collected that collectible. All right, so moving on. Number 3, you're going to reach this big area here. There's going to be a lot of people waiting for you. However, you can go and do this kind of in a stealthy nature. In fact, one of the challenges of this chapter is to find the missing resistance fighter without being seen. Well, in order to do that, you're going to need to go around the right side here. Follow this path up. I'm going to throw a knife here. And then you're going to open up this water pipe. Gain access into it. There's going to be another guy right here to the left. Right in front of us. Kill him, and right on the ground at his feet is where the letter is located. So number 4, the fourth and final one, is going to be in the room to the left where you find the resistance fighter. You're going to go in a really big building. You're going to take this walkway path into another building. We're going to turn right. You're going to get notified of a collectible in this area. And there's a white door to our right. That's where the resistance fighter would be. Just to the room to the left here, right in front of that typewriter, is where the fourth and final one is. So the second act in Nordlys is All is Ash. This is right at the very beginning. You're going to be pretty cold. You're going to get a little notification telling you about hypothermia. You're going to have to go warm yourself up in front of fires. Now, as soon as you start here, you're going to see the lake, and then you're going to see this little island here. And on the on whatever that is, on that wood, that stump, is where you're going to find the first letter. Now, in the center of that area is a fire. There's a path going up to the right to a substation, which we will go towards next, and that's right there in front of us. But there's also a path on the left-hand side that I am climbing up. This will lead to a fire that we can warm ourselves up at, as well as a collectible. One of the challenges in this act is warming up at all the fires. You're going to have to come up here if you're completing that challenge. All right, so now we're by the substation. I was just pointing out that where I got that last letter. So we're going to go up to the substation. You have to pretty much deactivate the substation. That's another one of the challenges. But there's a little shed here. Inside this shed is where the letter is going to be located. So I'm going to flip myself to the opposite side of that substation. I'm on the opposite corner, and we are going to head down. You can see that fire out in the distance there. We're going to go warm ourselves up there. But just to the left of that, inside the kind of in the trees there, this is a little tricky to find, but we're going to find a letter there next to a body that's dead. Apparently he didn't warm up in time, but we are going to warm up so we don't unfortunately meet the same fate he did. All right, so now I'm kind of backtracking just a little bit over here to the left. Look for a body in the snow, and you'll be notified of the letter right there. And that is it. We are going to move on to Act 3, Wolf and Dog. You're going to do a lot of skiing in here if you'd like. So at the very beginning, we're going to slide down just a little bit, ski around back underneath this thing, and pick up our letter. Now from that location, we're going to go all the way down to the dockside area. And I'm pointing at the crane way out there in the distance. You want to go and climb up the ladder of that crane. So as you're approaching this from the start, of the level, you're going to go all the way to the back left corner and climb up the crane, turn around, and it'll be at the edge of it. So this is by the big lake. You'll actually ski down quite a way. You'll go through another little village before you get to that. Now, between that dockside and that village over here, which we're going to head towards next, there's a bridge. And you have to go under the bridge. This is between the dockside and that village. Go under it, and you're going to find a collectible here. And then we're going to find one nearby. So if I turn around, there we go. I'm going to head out into the frozen lake, and there is a ship that is frozen, stuck in the ice. It is turned over on its side. And we're going to go around to the opposite side of it, and we will find a collectible back here. Pretty tricky. There's no way you would have accidentally run across this unless you looked out there and said, that looks suspicious, which is what led me to go find this. All right, so now we are in that village. And when you enter the village, you'll see the red building out in the distance. That's where you enter. You'll see this blue house. Come down the street, you got the green house. And then you got the white house. And you can see the roof is kind of blown out. This is the only house for which you can climb up to the attic. And if we climb up to the attic, there's a gun up there. And you'll also find a letter. Now, I was going to grab the gun, but for some reason, I grabbed the letter itself. It's kind of off screen on the floor to the right. But go ahead and pick that up. Now we are going to head towards a bunker. At the end of this act of Wolf and Dog, you're going to go into this bunker. When you go into it, you're going to find a room on the right-hand side. Enter that for the 6th and final collectible of Wolf and Dog, and that'll be all the collectibles in Nordlys. Now, in the next war story, I can't even pronounce it. Your first big encounter, your first encounter in general, once you clear out the area, you're going to have to hold it. You're going to want to go to this bunker on the back left corner. As you're coming up to it, to the back left corner, you'll find this little bunker, and you'll find that letter. The next section you go to, you see the little stone barricades out there. Before you go over that way, go all the way to the left-hand side. You'll actually be pretty much out of bounds. I'm going to grab this letter by this tank that has been destroyed. You can see I'm already out of the combat area. So we're going to pick that up. Now I'm on the opposite side of those stone barricades. I'm heading up. You got that machine gun nest in front of us. We are going to go to the right side of this area. This is almost out of bounds as well. And pick up that letter. Now we're going to stay in this area. And you can see we're approaching the big massive bunker out there just ahead. In the middle of this entire area, in front of that, you're going to see some green crates over here. It'll be right on the corner of one of them. And the final two are actually going to be the very final checkpoint. You're going to have to defend this area. There's going to be a couple vehicles, a tank that's going to come out. You're going to have to destroy. There's two collectibles here. One's going to be in this white building in front of us. But the other one's going to be on the opposite side over here on a green crate. So as I promised, there's one in the white building. So let's go ahead and grab that right now. Looks like I'm going to have to fight my way over there a little bit. Now, I am playing this on easy just to record these collectibles. I will be doing a live stream shortly on Twitch on the hardcore difficulty. And inside here is where we get the letter. Unfortunately, there's basically no single player trophies in this game other than just completing the game on a hardcore difficulty. All right, so the next act, Act 2, Egalite, I think is how you pronounce it. At the very beginning, you have two paths, left and right. Well, if you take the right path, it's a dead end, but it'll lead you to one of the letters. There are 5 total in this act. So pick that up. Now we're going to go continue onwards. You see there's a outpost in front of us. There's a tower there. There's also a little path going up on the left-hand side here. If you just go follow this up and around, we're actually going to just be above where I started this clip at a higher elevated position. So at the end of this will lead us right to a letter. All right, so next up, you're going to see a crashed, burnt out plane on the left-hand side. You're going to go up through that plane to get to the next section. There'll be a cutscene. once you go up there. But don't go up there just yet. Head over to the right-hand side. You'll find another body lying on the ground, and next to that body is the letter, so pick that up. And then go through that plane. And now this plane, again, there's going to be a cutscene once you get through it. And this does something I really hate. In order to get this collectible, you have to turn around and run backwards to get this collectible. So it's really easy to miss this one. Now the final one here, you're going to have to destroy in this area 3 flak guns. After you destroy the third one, the chapter is going to end in about a minute or two. In order to get the collectible, you have to go past that final gun that you just destroyed. So don't just kind of sit here because the chapter will end. You'll have to get on your horse and run behind all of this. Kind of back here against the back wall once we climb up here. So after you destroy that third gun, run past it and you'll be able to pick that one up. So now we're going to move on to the final act of the third war story. There are going to be 6 collectibles, and you have this little village. We're going to have to destroy some things in that village. But before I enter that village, I'm going to kind of skirt around the right-hand side. And you can see a little tent here. There's a camping position. I don't remember if there was an enemy there or if I killed him or not. But you're going to see a kind of a little sleeping position. There's a laughed in love letter. You want to pick that up. All right, so that's where I just was. Now I'm going to go through this village. I'm going to go to the exact opposite corner. I just passed the radar or the radio thing. Now we're going to go to this back corner. It's going to be on a little half wall. All right, so you see the next thing objective there says A. That's where we're going to head towards next. Before we go and try to take that position, before we capture that, we're going to go to the left side over here. And you can see a little green thing. A little cart, some kind of farming tool. And next to that is going to be the letter. So the next letter from here is going to be on the right-hand side. So I'm looking at the previous location. There's the position we need to take A. We're going to go off to the right-hand side now. We're going to look for a truck, and then we're going to find a green crate next to that truck, and that's where the letter is going to be. All right, so go ahead and capture that position, and we're going to move on to the next section. Immediately after that, you got the chateau out in the distance. Turn left. You'll see a tiny little building over here. Inside this building is going to be the letter. Now, this building's going to get destroyed as I'm standing in here. So during a chapter select, well, I'm going to go and get the next one because I missed it. As you see, that building just reassembled itself. So we're just going to follow it over here. You're going to see a house with a green door on the inside. I don't know if it's green on the outside. Let's check. Sure is. Inside of here is where we're going to find the last collectible in the game. So I want to thank you for watching. Get all the collectibles, get all the challenges done, and you will unlock 3 unique melee weapons.